That's all my resume.
Nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's not a big
Amazing.
deal. Yeah, I don't like
Amazing.
to brag about. I'm not going to brag about it or anything like that. So,
It's amazing.
all right. So here's the
Hey,
deal.
listen,
We were just
with
yeah. Go ahead.
your expertise and my hooks at Uncle Joe's house, this is beautiful.
Yes, and you definitely got the hooks at Uncle Joe's house, and Uncle Joe's house. I was there last week. I'll be there again next week for the next hearing there. They don't play around at Uncle Joe's house.
You there?
Right? Yeah, they don't play around.
Can you hear us, Sean?
Did I lose you?
You're like delayed. He's delayed.
Oh,
He's
man.
delayed. But let's be honest. Kim and I are the star of this. You're just like, to be honest.
Right.
We're the
mute
stars.
me. Just mute me.
No.
No, you're staying on. It'll catch up. It'll catch up. All right, let me do the explainer, Kim. Let me do the explainer. We were gonna live dangerously and stream this actual show to everybody in the chat. We were gonna be badasses tonight.
Right.
And then everybody we talked to about it, which was more than 10 people, said, you two would be the dumbest people on planet Earth if you actually go through and stream ABC News's 2020 program. You won't just get kicked off YouTube. You'll get sued by ABC, which is owned by Disney. Is that basically what they told us, Kim?
Yes.
Okay. So here we are. Here's the plan. We're your second screen tonight, right? You're watching it on the big screen. Maybe we're on your iPhone or your computer. Maybe it's flipped around. What we want you to do is check back in with us basically during commercial breaks. If you want to see our facial expressions, do what you got to do. But pretty much during commercial breaks, we'll take calls and we'll shoot the shit while that's going on. Is that fair?
That sounds awesome.
All right. Where are we at right now? Is it started?
I'm sure it has. It's 9:06, and now I don't know where the YouTube television lives. So I'm going to try to get this up on my... What are you watching, El Jefe?
YouTube TV.
Okay.
You're watching on
ABC.
YouTube TV?
Yep.
Before it starts, Sean, I've been waiting to do it, and this is a messy night, so this isn't...
It's already started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're into it.
All right, shut up then.
All right, we'll shut up. I'll mute my mic. The aura of this is just so
We are officially on commercial break, correct, guys?
I might be delayed, but they're doing the basic stuff, so I can stick with you if you want.
Sean, are you on break?
I was a little bit behind, but it's all the same stuff.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, this is nothing new
No.
so far, guys.
No.
If you are just joining us, I am so sorry. We were trying to live dangerously, okay? And we were gonna live stream it. I got the YouTube television. I got a free trial for 21 days, babes, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't have the cable anymore. So I ended up doing that. We put it on the screen. We were a little bit laggy, but I am frightened that everyone said you are going to get a strike and be like, I'm already struggling on TikTok, babe. So now we need to 100% focus on our YouTube. And they were not even liking our live, Dave. They restricted us on live when we were just talking about it.
Really?
They said that we were unsuitable for certain audiences. So
Right.
bear with us. This is basically a recap, right, guys, of her first interview. And we are going to, I bet you that's probably going to be the first 30 minutes at least. You know what I'm saying?
Is this 2 hours, guys?
Yes.
2 hours, David.
Yes.
Holy smokes. Oh, I thought this was an hour show and we would go on after and take a bunch of calls too. Okay. All right. Well, feel free, guys. The phone number's up there. If you guys ever want to call in during the commercial breaks, call in. I know it's kind of weird as you're doing this watch along thing, but
This is so weird.
yeah.
This is
what they do.
This is what we do.
Yeah, my colleagues did it
what
last
we
night for
do.
the opening game of the NFL season. That's it. They can't. They can just do the watch along aspect of it. They can't actually show the broadcast. So, but call in if you want to.
623 people are in here with us right now, just looking at our mugs.
Beautiful.
So what I'm going to say right now is thank you, El Jefe, and I love that hat. It's that scally cap, and it's David's moose that has got us this far tonight. Okay.
I will say this, Sean. I didn't get to watch a lot of your live. I'm going to go back and watch it tomorrow.
Oh, I did.
But I popped in at the end, and I just loved what you were saying about just how people can't have conversations anymore.
Yeah.
It's to your point. It probably started before the Trump effect of everything like that. But
Sure.
It has gotten so much worse now.
It's awful.
They even did it like last night at the NFL game because Brittany Mahomes liked a tweet about Donald Trump. Now all of a sudden, Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes can't be friends anymore. That's the reason why they're not sitting in each other's same box. It's like, what are we doing? Everybody disagree. This is the country we live in. You guys can disagree on a case. You can disagree on politics. Not a big deal. That guy, from what I heard from him, first of all, congratulations on your retirement. And second of all, his points were completely valid and fair.
Sure.
And maybe we're not 100% in agreement on everything, but that's life. That's a normal conversation with friends.
Hey, the fact that he came on was huge.
Yep.
Huge.
All right, we're getting back into it, guys. I'm going to put us all on
Let's
mute.
get in
Love ya. So pretty. We know all this.
Go meet some more friends over at the
Brian Albert, Chris's
Lauren, it's just me. I just wanted to tell you, babe, that we are literally just going. Oh, now you could hear it. Of course. Oh Lord, just God help me. Okay, babe. So what they're basically doing is every single thing that we already know. This has been nothing new except for I loved that we saw pictures of Officer John O'Keefe with his family. His sister Kristen was beautiful. Oh, I just think that she was so pretty. And that we got to see that Officer John O'Keefe is Irish and Italian. Babes, how many of us are Irish and Italian? Okay. I feel like there's a lot of us. So okay. So I just now they're at the waterfall, and then we're gonna get back to as soon as they're like on a commercial. I'm gonna come on with you. And so
They did a great job
El
with that, by the
Jefe,
way, Kim. Can you hear me, Kim? They did a great job with that John O'Keefe and the
that
family
was
portion.
beautiful.
Credit where it's
Yeah.
due. Like that, there's been a lot of people who have said, John has been on the back burner on some of this stuff, and all the coverage is Karen, and we can't forget who John was. 2020 just did a phenomenal job describing, to
I
the
love that.
national public who may not be as familiar with this case, who that man was.
I agree.
You guys want to
Yeah.
take this call? We got a caller on the line here. Let's see.
Yeah, we're on. Yep, we're on commercial. Let's go.
650. You got us over there?
Hello,
Hello.
are you hearing me now?
We got you. You guys got the caller. They
Are
do.
you hearing?
Yep.
You got me. Okay.
We got you,
my name is
Lovey.
Denise from California. Okay. Thank you so much. I admire all of you. Look, I wanted to know if you could answer a question. I was listening to Mark Federer the other day, and he was talking about the belt that John O'Keefe was wearing that night when he went to 34 Fairview. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't there anymore. It was never found. Is that true? Can you give any detail on that? I've never heard about his belt. Thank you.
Yes, Lovey. Go ahead, Sean. Tell him that there was.
Yeah, the belt and other items were put into a separate bag. Okay, and it did eventually surface in an evidence bag. So yeah, the belt. There was a rumor that went by, but no, the belt was definitely found.
Yeah. In fairness, if we're being fair, like there was a lot of people on the Free Karen Reed movement side that were saying, like, "Where's the belt? Where's
Right,
the belt?"
exactly.
It turned out they had the belt the entire time.
Yes.
Why that wasn't clear and we didn't know that officially and very easily, I don't know. It's kind of shady. That's another reason, if you're not going to disclose some things, people are going to start asking questions, and then the internet's going to start to get very strange. So all you people who keep commenting, why is this so visceral on both sides? Well, if the police aren't going to notify us of some basic information that they have in their possession, that's a very easy one to clarify. We're going to start asking questions.
But can I ask you, was there ever testing done on the belt?
No.
Probably.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't believe so.
See, there could have been DNA. I mean, you may have heard a lot about the belt. I've never heard about it until the other day. So I was all thinking about this belt, but no testing done. You have no chance to verify anything one way or the other.
Right.
Right. And there could have been touched DNA on that belt, especially if they dragged, poor John.
Correct.
Somehow. There could have been touched DNA for sure.
And on
Well,
other
thank you all
items
so
too,
much.
Lovey.
I really appreciate.
Yep. Thank you for the call.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Kim?
Thank you. I know. I
Thank
was just going to say on so many other items too that they never tested. Right? There was, as much as they got on his hoodie. Remember, there was other contributing factors, up to 3 males, and there was 5 on the hoodie, 2 on his pants. And they never even tried to get a partial match of anyone that was in the house at 34 Fairview. It was never done.
Right. Did we see when we saw pictures? We saw the pictures of them with the clothes in the evidence room, right, where they just like put it on the table. We see pictures of that? Why wasn't the belt on the pants?
I don't know. It's back on. We'll talk in a minute, guys. All right. Okay, we're back, babes. We are on commercial. And what did we think about that, guys? Give me everything.
Well, they're taking it from the Commonwealth side for sure. They're they're talking about the smashed taillight. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely, to me right now, it's slanted towards the Commonwealth.
Yeah, it does sound that way a little bit. First, like I think it was early in that segment where she says, "I tell my dad I got to call an attorney," and the ABC News analyst is basically saying, "Smart," and then within like not even a half a second comes the friend who says like, "That's a reason why this is all so shady," which is just madness. I mean, you could tell. Even in the situation, you got to lawyer up if the police are coming to talk to you anyway.
Right.
So that's just a smart decision. But before Sean, that we broke that news, Kim, I believe, at my dinner. I told you exactly why Karen said she left that morning, and it was because of John's mother and how she was treated that morning. And that's exactly what she said in this piece.
And the
And what
part
did
about
I say? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
and the part about them or her not being able to contact the family, because there was an order of no contact issued on February 2nd. She couldn't have any contact with the kids, with the family. I think friends, I think maybe was ordered. That's the fallacy. They're trying to say, oh, she never. No, she had a court order to stay away and no contact.
And people were fighting me today saying that, well, why didn't she contact them in the I said it's only 3.5 days, but people were saying that it was 5 days. It wasn't, but we're not going to get into the minutia. But the fact of the matter is that Karen just went through one of the most traumatic incidences that somebody can ever go through in their life. She is also transported via 911 ambulance to Good Samaritan for her a section 12 where she is being evaluated for her mental health. She gets out of there. And you're telling me that now she knows after this, because even when Paul O'Keefe is leaving the hospital, he blows her a kiss, but he doesn't say, my brother has passed on. My brother is not with us any longer. She finds that out. And for her to take maybe 2 or 3 days before, 2 days later, she's getting arrested. 3 days later, she's being arraigned. When was she supposed to contact you? And if it's not the way that you want it done, does not mean that it is wrong. It's how other people process.
And here's the other thing. Why didn't that mother or brother go in and see her and say, Karen, what the hell happened?
Yep.
Why didn't they do that?
Well, you remember, though, that Kerry Roberts, they talked on the phone and that Peggy said, you just left him there about at the party.
Saying,
so she, they were already angry.
I know my mother, God love her. If my girlfriend was with me and I ended up dead, no one could hold her back to find out what the hell happened,
Right.
So we're back. I think we're back live again. So
yep.
This is not looking great right now, guys. This is a Commonwealth stream. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. David and Goliath. Now it's going to be Karen's side. All right, we're on commercial. Okay, how did that feel to you guys?
Dave, you take it.
I didn't think it was as bad. Like I heard you chime in there, Kim, that this is all about the Commonwealth side. I didn't think it was as bad because I can understand they have to lay the groundwork of both sides to the best of their ability. So especially, in this case, it's so convoluted at this point. So I didn't think it was that bad. I have no problem
all
with
things we know, nothing new. So that's good.
Nothing new at this point. Nothing new at this point. Was this the segment where they just talked about the funeral? That was a touching, like, to hear that he used the same terminology. And I know, Sean, you've had some choice words with him before, but just to hear about that, that's a pretty remarkable thing to hear about. That's awful.
But we have to all keep in mind that a lot of things happen between February 2nd and April 18th of 2023. We're all in the background. No one knows what the hell's going on, right? I mean, the case basically ends for the O'Keefe family when John is laid to rest. However, what we didn't know is what the FBI was doing in the backdrop. As the state police are doing their thing, the FBI is doing a whole separate investigation. We know this now, right? But see, we didn't know anything truly when you think about it. Nothing in the papers, nothing in the court records until April 18th, whenever Turtle Boy came on.
Right.
And then at that point, we started seeing the fruits of the FBI investigation when they started hauling people in to the federal grand jury. They had already done 18 months of investigation.
Right.
So that's another thing we have to keep in mind.
I'm just blanking. How long was it until it was, who was it, Scanlon, who contacted David Unetti?
February 2nd, that afternoon. When she was arraigned, he reached out. I always thought it was the day after. No, it was that day, February 2nd.
Yep. And I know, like, some of the people on the other side, and I try to be as fair as I can be when I read this stuff. I know you guys try to be as well. They try to point to David Unetti's words, and then even Karen Reed's words in the samples of this interview that we've seen previously. I don't think either of them said anything where, one, definitely not intent involved. That's for a fact. But I don't think David Unetti said, when I think the terminology was, I forgot what was the word, we've talked about this, Kim, some accident. What was the word before accident? I forget. It was in the Boston Magazine piece. And they try to paint it like David Unetti said these words, that it was an accident on behalf of his.
That there was no intent, is what he said.
Right. He didn't say anything like that. He did typical lawyer speak.
He did say that there was no intent. And
if you remember, he said, I didn't have a police report. I had nothing to go by.
Yep.
So, of course. And he asked for the preservation. Remember that, guys. It's very unusual for a defense attorney to request that judge sign a preservation of evidence order, because he already knew on February 2nd, 2022, that Karen was being railroaded.
Right.
And
Let's see
I
if we
just
can.
wanted to say, I don't like the blood alcohol level. That is still going to piss me off till the day is, till the end of time. There should have never been, it should, in my humble opinion, it shouldn't have been admissible because that's not taking into account if Karen had a drink at home, etc. back at One Meadows.
Exactly.
Right.
I would like David Yannetti. I'm available. You know this, Mr. Yannetti. Okay. And number two, I just wanted to say thank you so much for saying that the last line of Paul's eulogy to Officer John O'Keefe was, "We will take it from here," as was John's last line of his eulogy to his sister, Kristen. That was
Right.
incredibly moving.
Sure.
Ooh. Okay, are we back on here, guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna mute us all. Love your faces. See you in a second. going over right now, guys, the Jen McCabe text, or not text, Google searches rather. Did we try to do a play-by-play or no? Alan Jackson, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck, baby. We're on commercial. What do we think of that, Sean?
That was powerful. Yeah. Now we're back to reality, right? We're back in the real throes of what happened.
What is Alan Jackson, right? He's not a rookie, right? He's been around a long time. He's done some major cases, like they said, Kevin Spacey, Phil Spector, right? Like all those other ones. I've never been more confident in anything, basically, in my life. I've never been like, he doesn't have to say words like that. He doesn't have to go that extreme and have to. What is the, if I'm watching that and I'm like Joe Schmo at home watching 2020 and I hear that, I'm saying to myself, like, this guy knows what the hell he's talking about and he fundamentally believes in his client. This isn't some like bullshit belief in a client. This is, I believe in her.
So in March of 2022, right, prior to her indictment, Karen knew from sources who killed John and how she was being framed. Now, Jackson was not a part of this at this time. When she was ultimately indicted and arrested in June, right, of 2022, when she made that comment about we're all in the same joke here, she knew. Yannetti knew, right? The Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice was all over this. Now, Jackson comes in. He's already briefed.
Yep.
By the time he came in, this snowball is gaining more momentum coming down the hill. And I mean, we can speculate all we want, but in December of 2023, when we're having those pretrial hearings, and we're talking about proffers, and we're talking about TUIs, and we're talking about assistant U.S. attorneys who can't let this case go to trial. And we got the 8 letters. It's a duck. It's quacking big time by then.
Right. What do you say to the people, Sean, that question, not question that the feds are involved,
right,
but question the idea, and I think I asked this to her, question the idea that they just gave Karen and her defense team enough to get acquitted. Like they could only use in the courtroom enough to get acquitted.
Yeah.
But not everything they had to protect their bigger picture case, which you've been talking about for a long time.
Right.
Is that a reasonable thought? Like I can see people, and I would challenge that a little bit to just trust that this handful of handpicked information I give you is enough for 12 jurors. That's a gutsy call.
Let's make believe the deal is this. Alan, David, Karen, you know what we have, right?
Yeah.
We told you. We need a little bit more time. That was said. I mean, the little more time was said back in December. Remember, I think it was it was a conference call where I guess Josh Levy was saying, "Can you put the trial off? I need more time." Now, by the time trial started, everyone was in on the loop. The defense, the prosecution, and the judge. 3,074 pages worth
Yep.
of loop, which meant exculpatory evidence for Karen. What did they use? 6 witnesses. They didn't use any.
Right.
Nothing. Because guess what? The Commonwealth went and did their third-party culprit defense for them. And Jackson said, fuck it, we're going to just do a hit-and-run defense. We're going to defend her on the hit-and-run, which is exactly what she was charged with.
Right.
They saved it because they knew all they had to do was get the not guilty, but get the hung jury. Give
Yep.
them time. Guess what? January 27th is a long time.
That's a long time.
We got Birchmore in now. Everyone knew Birchmore had to go first. It was a logical sequence of events.
Kim, if that is accurate, this
True.
is one of the most insane yet remarkable yet gutsy yet everything in the book stories
High stakes
in U.S. history.
High stakes chess because there's a bigger picture.
Yep. Are we
We're
back?
back on, guys.
We're
Thank
back.
you. Oh, okay. That was a lot.
Yeah.
What do we think, guys? I'm just going to give a rundown, okay, of just like my feelings with that. This is wild to me. I don't even know. Like, first and foremost, I do believe when Karen says that she only had a couple of sips out of each. I do believe that. I do believe that, and she's really being like, there is no evasiveness here, guys, when we're talking about her answers. For her to say I was angry at him, I was pissed off at him that night, that does not mean that I ever was going to hurt him, harm him. And the interviewer, my friends, saying to her, "How drunk were you?" What? Like, I feel like this is very like reeling her in for answering questions in a narrative that is not in favor of any kind of defense. I think that Alan Jackson is firm in his opinions and his beliefs, and he is saying that no one is that clever. She's not pulling the wool over my eyes. I believe that too. But this interviewer is that was the most I've ever felt like that was very slanted. How did you guys think?
I felt similarly, but I'm listening to that too, and they haven't gotten to this point yet that we all got to in the trial, which is she could have been blackout drunk for all we care. That doesn't necessarily mean that she hit somebody with a vehicle causing their death. And we found that out later, whether it be ARCA or whether it be some of the other evidence. But they're clearly setting that up to be the main talking point of the general public that doesn't know much about this case, right? So that's where the hit piece of this kind of feels like it's going. Whereas, like, she admitted she was buzzed to the individual at home.
Buzz driving.
My mom
we always say,
right?
Buzz driving and drunk driving.
My mom hasn't touched a sip of alcohol in her life. She heard buzz right there, and she just thought that Karen Reed was blackout drunk and never should have been behind the wheel. You know what I mean? Like it's game over to somebody who doesn't know the case. And that guy's a seasoned journalist. ABC's a seasoned, like, they knew what they were doing to get her to say something like that.
My takeaway was when Jackson said, "I've never been so confident."
Yeah,
that says a lot. And here's the other thing. I don't believe he would allow her to be on TV if he didn't believe that. 1,000%.
Of course.
Sean, she invited Nurse Kim and I to dinner 2 weeks ago.
We're
fucking, pardon my language, we're fucking idiots. We're lunatics. Yeah. We could ask her whatever we wanted. Nothing was off the table.
Right.
She answered everything. She talked back to everything. And obviously she said some stuff that was off the record, and I'm not an asshole. But how does she know I'm not an asshole? She doesn't know I'm not. Alan Jackson doesn't know that I'm not an asshole and wouldn't go spill the beans on everything she said.
No.
And so, like, he clearly trusts his client so much.
Right.
It literally feels like they don't give a shit. Put her in front of whoever they want. It's a legal decision not to put her on the stand. That's a different conversation.
Sure.
But in terms of, go talk to Joe Schmo on the side of the road, or go do an interview with ABC News. I don't give a shit. Like, we believe your story. We believe you can communicate it effectively. Right. Go right ahead. That says confidence more than anything to me.
Exactly. Absolutely. And the fact they only used 6 witnesses for her defense. That's even more confidence.
Right.
I also wanted to ask you guys now, like, we're very deep in our community. We know our community. We know the Justice for Officer John O'Keefe and Justice for and Free Karen Reed community. We know this community. For those family members to say that they were chased, screamed at and chased every time, I don't recall seeing anything, and everything was live streamed. Now, granted, I wasn't there. I'm not going to take away from their experience. What their experience was is their experience. However, doesn't that sound like way out of left field? This isn't like we're talking to Proctor Buchnick or or maybe a little hostility with Brian Albert if you believe that he was involved, or but not a family member. I've never thought that anybody was egregious to, and that's coming off very poorly on us, like on all of us guys, So I hope that is 100% not the case, right?
Right.
Right.
All right, we're on. Talk to me, boys.
Yeah, I mean, you got to expect that's going to come. The movement that's happening and the booing. And I've said it on my stuff. Like, I don't personally identify with it. I mean, it's
I don't
just
like
not the way. It's not the way I would act in those situations. But I understand people who are so passionate about a case and they believe in it so much, and they believe the facts support their beliefs and what they think happened in this. And it's to be expected. If you're an outspoken individual, and you believe you're on the right side of the movement and of history or whatever, you're going to act that way. And, some people are going to act that way. I'm not going to act that way, but I can understand that, like I say it all the time with Turtle Boy, right? Like he fundamentally thinks if you question his viewpoint on this, like he borderline hates you. and that's fun. Like he probably should, because if I don't agree with him, maybe we're not friends, and maybe he doesn't want to like a guy like me, but like I just don't operate like that. But
Sean,
I
what do you
understand
think?
people who do. Yeah.
What do you think on the what do you think on that breaks my heart? So
No, I never ever agree with that. Okay, no matter what, they're still the family of the victim, right? And families are off base. Families are off, off limits. I mean, all families,
the
let them
Reed
breathe.
family,
Let
the
them
O'Keefe
breathe.
family, all the
Exactly.
families.
Exactly.
Yes.
Police officers' families,
Oh yeah.
I run the whole gambit. Listen, it's a trial. It's passionate. You get two sides, fighting hard. And it's like a rivalry that you've never witnessed before. Like, we're talking about that cop said, it's like Republican, Democrat, it's worse. You got a whole town in Canton divided, completely divided. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, you got to leave the families alone. You got to leave the
right.
Yeah, it's just you're never going to come out looking any good at all. Never.
And it's not helping Karen. Like, guys, at the end of the day, we love you so much. She loves you so much. She appreciates you so, every single one of you. She appreciates you to the ends of the earth. However, we, and I know that 99.9% of the time this doesn't happen, but they've got a clip of it, babes, right? So now they've got a clip of it, and they're able to spin it to say that that this is a daily occurrence versus if it happened one time and it was corrected because you didn't know who was who. Okay, so just saying, again, we love you and appreciate you, and that's just hard to hear.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think the timeline of this piece was? They interviewed Karen so long ago. Like, they were sitting on that. Would they have sit on this for this long if she was found guilty or acquitted? Would it have come out? What has it been, a month and a half at least since we were last in a courtroom here? Like, what was the thought process of the timing behind releasing this special, do you think? Is it just kind of random?
It's just kind of weird that everything seemed to change when Matt Farwell directed.
Yeah.
I mean, she started loosening up. She's going to standouts. She's going to dinners with select few.
Yep.
She's also posting on her Facebook. I'm not friends, but like see that she's able to make her comments like this. This is who Karen Lovey. If you are watching, I love you. It's Nurse Kim. Hi, babe. It's me and Mr. McDonough. Dave. Don't even worry. But
she's mentioning my podcast. Going through the motions.
Well, I don't know. We can debate that. Sean, we can debate that later. We can have a discussion on that. But I don't know.
Just kidding you. Just kidding.
Are we? Oh, we're doing them. Oh, I actually want to see this portion. Yep.
All right. Bye. Bye. It's on mute.
finally, she showed emotion.
Right.
Finally, she broke down. Finally, this is
Right.
what we needed.
That's one of the biggest. That's the reason you're saying it, the biggest criticism. And
Yep.
we heard jurors had that, right? And we get to see some of the after the fact, whether it was Turtle Boy reporting it or somebody else saying a juror said something like, "I hate the way she looks in there," and she's she's
That was
showing
when
no
someone
emotion.
was getting dismissed. Yeah, a juror
Yeah,
got
something
dismissed for
along
that.
those lines. So
Right.
to see this is actually, yeah, you're right. I mean, to me, right, this has been a roller coaster ride so far. And that's to be
Right.
expected. This entire case has been a roller coaster ride. I'm thinking it's a hit piece 1 second, and 2 seconds later, I'm hearing, how much she admires and cares for her mother and how
Mother,
supportive
right.
she's been. It's that was good to see.
Yeah, and she's very, very, very close to her father. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a piece, hopefully, about that because let's face it, look at she always goes to him first. She's getting out of the car. She asked someone, "Did my father get here yet?" She's very close to him.
Yep. One thing I was thinking about there is they
I
keep
thought
going back.
I just thought like that was
Go ahead, Kip. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
no, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I think you're on a little delay, just FYI. But one of the things I was thinking, because they keep going back to what feels like the same well of people to interview here or to get their takes, there's a handful of number of witnesses that we have not seen to this point. Nobody, people
Right.
who do not have the guts to sit down and answer questions for themselves and give their
Right.
opinion. That should be pretty telling to the audience.
Right.
Kim, are
Is
you there?
everyone? Are we going? Is it back on?
No,
No.
you're just so delayed. We're waiting for you if you wanted to check in there, but that's all.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm in a delay, so
Yeah.
I'll put us back. Well, no, wait. Let's keep talking, I guess, until we get actually here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else from that specific segment. That I just think the biggest takeaway, anybody watching that is just taking away the emotion that she had in that.
Right.
Because I actually saw the clips. We're seeing the clips of her getting ready and
And
things like that. You are like you're like a minute delay.
Okay, I don't
Kim.
know what's happening. I don't even know what's happening. Listen, just hear me, guys. I wanted to say, Karen, let that out, babe. Let it out, and
Yeah.
that this is something that is that jurors and that all of us, right? Like we know that it's in there, but when you expressed that and you expressed your love for your parents, and I know that you have love for Officer John O'Keefe, and that this has been the most trying time of your life, babe, let it out. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human, and we all are that, and that's why we're here for you.
Right. When I saw those initial preview clips of this piece and it was her getting ready and all that stuff, that to me I was thinking that whole segment in wherever she was, I don't know if she was at the Seaport Hotel or wherever she was, I thought that was going to be a nightmare situation on 2020 for her, and it turned out to be a polar opposite. It was the best case scenario for her in terms of, the court of public opinion. And maybe just the people who have been monitoring this case, but still in the back of their mind, they say like, yeah, she is like smiling at certain times, and the judge had to reprimand her once because of it. That was a moment right there to showed her personality. And yep, there we go.
But just
Talk to me, Sean.
What do you think? There's
I-
Kim.
Oh, well, listen, I am in, okay? First of all, I blacked out in the beginning of this segment because I said, please, what are we doing? Again, lallying. But what an amazing comeback as it relates to having a question from this NBC or ABC reporter saying, would you risk your career, your entire reputation, and Alan Jackson resounding 100%.
Of course. No doubt.
Love it. Love it. And then
Surety.
we don't even get approval. We're doing the entire trial again.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
How'd you guys feel about how they left that going into commercial break? Now I feel like we're going to end this. It feels like we're going to end this on a negative note now. Like they're planting the seeds to
Well,
just, you know.
They still got the crash daddies, right? They haven't brought the crash daddies up yet.
Are they going to bring the crash daddies? Because what are we? We have 20 minutes left. Have you guys heard any aspect of a federal investigation in this thing so far? Because I haven't heard anything.
No. So far, no.
Right. So somehow I would assume, to your point, yeah, hopefully they bring in the crash daddies,
Right.
and they explain who they are and how they got there in the simplest form, because that's such a major part of this entire story.
Oh yeah.
If they just gloss over it quickly and don't like showcase the magnitude that the federal government is involved in this would be, then you might as well just say this is a hit piece entirely.
If ABC does not talk about the fact that there was a TUI report given to all parties concerned,
Right.
then it's a hatchet job, and we know that.
I also wanted to say, guys, that when they were talking about, I really appreciated Vinnie Politan saying, remember that there was all these people who left the house and nobody saw allegedly Officer John O'Keefe. That didn't come from ABC. That came from Vinnie P. Biggs.
Vinnie.
Okay.
Right.
And then reminding us that magically, from an incident that happened of Karen Reed within 5 seconds, allegedly backing up, striking Officer John O'Keefe at 24 miles an hour, into shattering a taillight into 45 pieces, that the Commonwealth, that the Mass State Police were able to collect all 45 pieces and put it together back in the perfect shape of a taillight.
Right.
Now, does that make sense?
Right.
Of course not.
I think it's M in the chat. She's saying solo cups. Have there been any mention of solo cups in this so far?
No.
I mean, that's what's hard about this. And I thought, honestly, I thought this was an hour, but it's good that it's 2 hours. But even with 2 hours, it's not enough time to put in the absurdity of this case that impacts the general public. I'm 10 minutes down the road. I talk to people about this case all the freaking time.
Of course.
And they talk about what I think because we're in the weeds of it, they talk about I'm going to call them silly. They're really not, but the silly aspects of the case that we haven't talked about in months, right? Is the fact that somebody was hitting their vehicle and nobody heard a thing. Is the fact that, cops and firefighters and ambulances and the homeowner didn't come out of the house. Like, that's what the people in Norfolk County who barely focus on this case are talking about. And 2020 hasn't mentioned it a lick, some of that stuff. And there's how many more examples of that type of stuff is in this case that they haven't mentioned? There's 50 more things.
Oh, look at someone. Poor Julie. She says, I had to turn it off. What a joke. Guys, we're going to take calls as soon as this is over. We're getting to the end. Thank you so much for bearing with us. I'm so sorry that, we were trying to fly close to the sun, but we'll wrap this up and then we'll be, right here for you to talk all.
I mean, realistically, like hit piece or coming out of this good, it does feel like, and I got this tone from talking to her, is that the money aspect, like she needs more publicity because she needs to raise more money. That's the vibe I get. And I don't think either way tonight, one way or the other, I think just the PR aspect and the wide reach that this has, I would hope, and obviously there's not going to be a call to action in 2020, but I would think the notoriety that's being created around here is going to benefit her in some way financially. And that's probably from their perspective, that's what they need the most right now.
Sure.
We're back on.
Center five.
Right, guys, we're in the home stretch.
So obviously the federal investigation came up, so that's big.
Right.
However, did you guys, unless I missed something, it seemed like they made the federal investigation immediately then transfer right to like Proctor, almost like the Proctor thing
Right.
sparked the federal investigation for like they didn't do the federal investigation justice by any means in terms of if you're a novice in this case. I don't think you have any reasoning, like you have no idea why the federal government is involved.
Yeah, good point. Hopefully they'll bring the crash daddies.
I don't
And
think
clear
they're.
it
I
up.
don't. I don't even think they'll do that. I mean, at this point, they're going to be back. It's going to be like 5 minutes. I don't even. I don't know how they wrap this up.
Right, that's true. Right.
Someone said that they think it's going to be a part 2, like they're going to make it a second, like they're going to have to do some kind of part 2,
Yeah, that
which
makes sense.
of course for ratings or some shit.
Right. Right.
Oh, they're
Oh.
wrapping it up. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, they can't be done. Are they done?
I mean, I think this is a win for her. If you're asking me,
I do too.
And by the way, like I don't know, like what's a win in this situation? I don't really
Yeah.
like. It doesn't like. What's the real impact either way? Like what it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't matter. Like I said before, I think it's more about she wants her story out there so she can get more support to raise more money. She's got to go back for round 2 here. She's got to fight that. She needs the money to pull it off and to live her life. But in the court of public opinion, like does it really matter? Because it really is just going to come down to 12 jurors, right? And the 12 jurors are not going to have seen this 2020 piece.
No.
Yeah. Well, we're almost there, babes. We just gotta, we'll get through this, and then our phone lines are gonna be, like we said, we're open. We want to hear from you guys. If you have any questions for Mr. Sean McDonough, our best friend from out of town, look at him. Look at that handsome man staying with us, staying up with us this late after he just had an exclusive, incredible one-on-one with newly retired Boston police officer, Mr. Officer Javier.
Velasquez.
Yes, and he was really, I thought it was incredible, Sean. It was such a great conversation. And yes, I feel like he played it quite like safe, but also
Right.
very telling in some of his answers. And you did such
Right.
a beautiful job navigating that.
Yeah, clearly he didn't want to come out. I mean, you could tell by his body language that he'd look one way and then he'd look another way. It's like you could tell, which is fine. I give him 1,000% props for just getting in front of the camera.
Of
His
course.
name, No, I was very happy.
You know what I would have liked to seen from this? Because I assume we're not going to get it in the next 3 minutes, but I would have liked to seen like more on the Karen Reed side. Like obviously John O'Keefe has these friends and has the family who's speaking out, the cousins and whoever else is talking in this. Right. Karen Reed in a comment mentioned that she mourned with friends or something like that. One of her, you see that, Kim, the Facebook comment that she put out there? It was something like that. She mourned with friends. I wouldn't have mind seeing, her brother interviewed in this, and then also maybe a friend of hers that we likely haven't seen to this point and we don't know of, and get what like their perspective on all that. I think that would have made it a little bit more fair, but we are back here.
All right, couple more seconds, a couple more minutes, lovies.
Yep, here we go.
family and friends tell us they'll be back in court again every single day. That's our program for tonight. Thanks so much for watching.
Well, yep, that was, guys, that was the Commonwealth's theory. That was the Commonwealth's ABC special. Don't worry, have me, Mr. McDonough, Turtle Boy, and Dave Cullinane. We'll produce something together for the rebuttal from the people. Shane.
My mic was muted. Yeah, I think first of all, we're going to see a lot of that stuff probably start coming out too. What did Karen say, that Vanity Fair piece is coming out in December, I believe, and gut feeling and talking from her, like I think she's going to be out there and she will talk to anybody who will listen. Like just fundamentally, every radio show, every TV show, I think she's going to be out there like talking, because that's, you know, they, like I said before, they trust her, and that's all she could do. I don't, besides getting the word out and you know, convincing people, which I just think talking convinces them in its own right. It's I think we're going to hear a lot from her. So hopefully more of the story starts to get out. Some of the stuff that they missed tonight, the general public will start hearing it more and more. I mean, either way, people watch that tonight and they're going to start digging, whether it be on TikTok, whether they find Sean on YouTube or wherever else, and go read Turtle Boy's article. Like that was the starting point for a lot of people to learn more about this case, at least.
I think it was slanted. I think it was skewed more to the O'Keefe, which is fine. It's fine. Because let's face it, he is the victim, right? And the Commonwealth is prosecuting her. But the bottom line is you can't take away Alan Jackson's confidence. You can't take away the fact that he would put his whole career on the line. He allowed her to be with these people. They were with them a lot.
Yep.
I mean, from that in one of the promos, that interviewer said, "We've been with the Karen Reed team for over a year."
Right. Yeah. It's one thing. It's one thing now after the trial,
right,
and you know the mistrial, to say like, okay, you know, go do some speaking. No, they trusted her like a year ago, basically, to do this stuff.
Right.
You know, maybe not, you know, to the degree that she's about to do some of it, maybe, but to just do it in general a year ago is that speaks volumes. We do have a ton of calls queued up here. They were waiting to watch the whole thing with us, which is awesome. This is what we wanted. So, all right, let's see. 978 is connecting. 978, you got us?
Yeah. Hi.
What's going on?
I'm Kristen. This is the first time I'm tuning into you guys, but I actually know Karen personally. And I dated her brother for 6 years. So,
okay.
And this was a long time ago. So I haven't been connected with the family for quite some time, but, you know, I've been following this case, and I can attest to the incredible person she is and her character. She's truly a remarkable woman. And I think, you know, watching this tonight, what got me the most and certainly got me emotional was hearing her talking and being so emotional. You know, I think, I don't know, I feel like someone who's guilty is not going to be that choked up and that emotional, you know, and so that really got to me. And, you know, just the love of her family. I mean, they've all stuck by her so strongly, and they're really good people.
That speaks volumes of you to call in, and, you know, obviously you said you've been removed from the situation for a while, but to call in and back her, you know, after, you know, having a relationship with the family and things like that. I don't know. That speaks volume of you to check in on that. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's been very surreal to watch this unfold and just feel like I know these people, you know?
Yeah. Have you reached out to her during the trial or anything like that? Have you connected with her or no?
No, I mean, I did send, you know, a few cards to the family and reached out, but, you know, I didn't necessarily expect to hear something back, but I wanted to at least extend my support and my love and just let them know that I was thinking of them. Yeah. So.
Well, that was nice. That was nice of you. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kristen. And it's really, it's so nice to hear. It's really nice to hear from you because, like you said, I think that moment of, really kind of having that humanity is what really brings us all together. And you knowing her and saying that she's a good person and like, how we would expect. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for the support.
It's kind of ironic is not the right word, but didn't we not just say 5 minutes ago that it would have been nice to hear from some people that know her? Or Kim, we've gotten a ton of calls from people from Bentley who she was their teacher and they were students and they loved her. It's not like it would have been interesting to hear that viewpoint. And of course, we're live and the first phone call we get is somebody like that. So, all right, let's go to 517 here. 517.
Hello. My name's Andrea, and I am from Michigan, and you guys are awesome and all the coverage that you do. So my question is for the people that are being interviewed, the quote unquote John O'Keefe supporters. Why do the reporters why don't they ever ask them, like, what are your thoughts on the federal investigation? And what if the McAlberts, get charged? Like, I've never seen them ask that to them.
Great question.
Like, yeah, it's never been asked. And I mean, we all think that, like, so it doesn't make sense to me. Like, that was basically my comment. But you guys are awesome, and I love watching your podcast.
Well, thank you very much. No, that is absolutely a
very good question.
That's an absolutely fair question. It just seems like everybody on the reporter side is just like crazy safe with this story. They don't want. I mean, they don't want to be this, pissing off one side or the other. So I think they're just playing it safe, as much as they can. I guess. I don't think that's an excuse. They should be asking questions like that, but that is what it is, unfortunately.
Right.
617, you got us? 617, you there? Yo.
I'm here.
What's going on?
I just wanted to ask a question. I noticed like there was a beautiful amount of support from the police for John O'Keefe's funerals and his wake and stuff. But where are these folks wearing blue shirts outside of the courthouse today?
Yep.
There's got to be a reason.
Yes, sir.
And I know Sean has a good side note on that.
Yeah, I've talked to several current Boston police officers, and they just basically said, listen, it's such a buzzword within the department that I think they've been told to kind of stay clear, let the courts work it out. I still don't get it. I don't get why this officer that I had on tonight literally drove from Norwood to 34 Fairview. And he said, my God, there was no one out there. I went to that address hoping to see someone, a cruiser, a crime scene, or people gathered just to show support, no matter what, snowing or whatever. We're all from Boston, right? Who cares about the storms, right?
Right.
And he said he went down there. He found nobody, zero. He was out. Even the Las Vegas cops the other night said, listen, we wouldn't leave. We would not leave for 18, 15, 20 hours until the job was done. Yep. Not come back for 2 weeks finding pieces. I don't even know how they can even allow that to be in, because the bottom line is anybody could throw stuff down. And the part about building this stupid light back together. Come on. I mean, let's face it. We know exactly what happened.
Right.
I mean, how lucky can one get?
What was that? What was that question before, Kim? Sean, there was a question for Sean there. I just missed it. Does he think the feds will give more information for the retrial or whatever? Is that what it was?
I don't think they tapped into any of the 3,074, but yeah, they can. My understanding is that the defense can actually, now they call it a TUI. They can get TUI information, not like a subpoena. they can write their request under the guise of TUI.
Okay.
So they can actually put in a request via the feds saying, we would like this information. It's like a freedom of information. It's like a FOIA.
Right.
But they say, listen, we want to know if like A, B, and C did happen. Right.
Yep. Yep.
So it's like a FOIA, but it's called under TUI.
But we were talking about it earlier. Aren't we under the impression that, and I guess it's just whether or not you believe this is happening or not, but
Right.
we're under the impression that the feds are working with potentially Karen Reed and her team,
Right.
and telling them what they can and cannot use in the
Right.
courtroom to protect their bigger picture
Right,
investigation.
But put it like this, to get it introduced into evidence for the state case, they have to go through the proper protocol.
Right. Right.
Not saying, hey, by the way, we had a sidebar conversation with the first assistant. He gave us this. No, has to be done in a very, formal way, like
buttoned up
subpoena,
way.
right?
Yep.
And,
All right,
and
Yep. Go ahead.
okay. No, I was just going to say, Sean, can you tell me that, like, I know that when you have, in your 35-year career, chain of custody is so important with evidence, and there was none in this entire case.
No.
So I just don't understand. Like, based on that alone, we've had troopers, we've had police just from other departments in the Commonwealth, out of the Commonwealth, up in Pennsylvania. We had someone in Las Vegas call us and say this would have never gone anywhere because of day one, January 29th, 2022. And the absolute snowball that turned into, between Mass Crime Lab, the Mass State Police, and everything else. But it's like it keeps getting pushed through and pushed through and pushed through with the assistance of Judge Cannoni at this point.
Right.
So I'm just grossed out.
By the way, where were all these callers during that Boar Fest of a 2020 show that we just watched?
They
We could
were
have used
waiting and watching. Answer the phone.
There's 14 callers on hold right now. We could have used you during the commercial break. Damn it. 781.
Come on, get me now.
There we go. 781.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
I love you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Go ahead. You got us?
How are you?
We're good. You got us?
I'm here.
All right. Go.
Yep, I'm here. I love you guys a lot.
Oh,
what I
nice.
wanted to
We
say
love
to
you.
was after watching the show tonight, I can't believe that they put the girl with the red dress, Amy, that wasn't his wife. They didn't have kids. She looked like a goddamn fool. Like, what are you doing, bitch? Karen was his chick.
Jesus. I mean, it wasn't that drastic anyway. Like, it's
Oh,
not.
It was.
Oh,
You thought it was?
I found that so drastic.
Yeah.
That is like, she's a nobody who came out of the crawl. Like, she came out of the Erie pub and died.
She's the one.
She came out of the 1310.
She's the one
came out of like the can tap.
Hey, we
get
it. We get
like
it.
every
We
third
get it.
whole bar.
You got your point across. We get it.
Came out of the boom boom room.
Well, that piece of it like really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like, really reach it.
Yep.
Like, if that was his ex-wife and they had a kid, or they were together, but it's like, bitch, where'd you come from? Like, did you hit him with your fucking car?
Boy. Okay.
But I love you guys. I really thought you and Kim were husband and wife 2 weeks ago when I started following
Oh!
Nope. Brother and sister.
Brother and sister.
Right. Brother and sister relationship.
Kim is the most amazing person. Like, unbelievable. And Sean McDonough, if I was down in the Florida and I wasn't married, babe, you are the man. You are the man. I follow you and I believe in you.
Thank you.
And you're a dot rat. I hung out on Dot Ave.
Did you really? Oh my God.
Baby, that disco ball.
How about the Avenue Bakery, huh? The snowflake.
Oh my God. That was like
the snowflake muffins.
So much.
Right?
This is the best call. This is
all right.
This
Well,
is
thank you for the call. Yeah. Before
we
she
love you,
cancels us. Yeah, she was a great call. That was just hysterical. All right.
You were not fun, Dave. Let it go. We let it go.
I know. I got a quick trigger over here. 603.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What do you got?
This is so exciting. I've been listen, I'm 36 years old. I have 2 kids. I swore away TikTok and X. I never got into Twitter and any of that, but Kim found her randomly. I think somebody shared her on Instagram, and I just couldn't not watch the rest of her TikToks, got on TikTok, and I just kind of sit there as somebody who doesn't post anything and just watches. But anyway, so then I got on to you, Kim and Dave, and then, and then I got introduced through Kim to Sean, and so I've just gone into this. I watched the trial, as Kim says, gavel to gavel, and so basically, I think what I watched on the 2020 is that I think there's going to be a lot of judgment on her emotion, which as a daughter, a woman, all of the above, feminine, I talk shit about my parents all the time to my siblings. We talk shit, but at the end of the day, they're my parents. I could cry about them right now because they're my parents. You know what I mean? And bring them up, especially if they're supportive of such a huge, pivotal part of your life. I mean, a dramatic, out of the blue, just crazy thing. And I think a lot of people are going to judge her for not crying for John. But I think what people need to realize is that she has to either cry for him or her life at this point, right? So man, she's gonna cry about her parents. That's her parents. And then when it gets to John, it's like, yeah, she loves John, and I'm guaranteed she's torn up about it. But this is her life. She can't forget that there is a bigger thing here, unfortunately. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And I just feel like she doesn't have sorry, go ahead, Lovey.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say that I just don't feel like she has the kind of the luxury of really having the breakdown about Officer John O'Keefe right now. I think that the interviewer, Karen's in game headspace all the time. She was on, now when they were speaking to her, she had her closet full. She's in court. She's got to go when, she's going to the tailors. She's getting everything done. She wants to present herself as a educated woman who did not do this. She is innocent, and she is going to, give that vibe off. The question she did not expect was for you to bring up her mom, and that to, just kind of spin her on her head, right? Of oh my God, I think about my mother when I'm putting on my clothes in the morning, because why? My mother taught me how to get dressed, and my mother is sitting behind me. My father is sitting behind me every single day as I fight for my life, against the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts for a crime that I didn't commit in killing my boyfriend, Officer John O'Keefe, right? So like you were saying, Lovey, I think that she is usually very prepared for what she's got to do. We're going, she has to have those blinders on to get through it all and continue to fight. But that, I think, just caught her off guard. And I will say, Karen, if you hear us, the human is good. The human, you don't need to be kryptonite, babe, or not kryptonite, whatever, Superman, that you never show it, because that doesn't mean that the Commonwealth is winning. That means that you're winning by showing us, and we know, but showing the others in the world that have questions that yes, there is some things that, still eat you up, and that, are difficult to deal with because you're only human.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but most of other than the light gray, brown suit, and obviously the trial video, the other stuff was the original 2020, the old interview that she did, kind of now intertwining it with the court that now happened. So she did that 2020, and now they're kind of piecing that together with what happened in court, which to her favor matched, the defense, which obviously is her story, and I'm behind that. But I didn't know 100% if that was the old interview that they were now kind of splicing with what now came out of the trial.
Yeah, I think the only new stuff was the stuff about her mother, right? Was that the only new stuff with
Right,
Karen
I
directly?
think so. The gray outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of new stuff for Officer John O'Keefe and his that was new interviews
Right.
that I've ever seen. The information about his funeral, about his life, like we said. And guys, hey, to any asshat or asshole who does not think that all of us support Officer John O'Keefe, we do. We want justice for Officer John O'Keefe. If you want to tell me, like, that he lost his front teeth in second grade, his front teeth, I want to hear all the stories. I love them. Why? Because we want justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Those are beautiful things, and we always appreciate that, right, boys?
Yes, we do. And realistically,
Right.
if she's fighting for her, she's fighting for her life right now, but also simultaneously, she's the lead fighter for justice for John O'Keefe as she's doing it, because we would not know all these things that have happened without her and her team exposing that. So it comes off like, she's not crying for John, but realistically, like she's the lead activist to get justice for him.
Right.
Agreed.
Right.
Thank you, Lovey.
Well, thank you guys. That's all I had. I appreciate, I anytime the TikTok live, notification comes up, I'm right there. I love all the updates. So keep it coming. It's been great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
And want to do one more, guys, and then I know you're all exhausted. It has been a night off. And we just wanted to say to you, Sean, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sorry that, of course, I didn't do it right technically, but
No, thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dave.
No problem at all. We appreciate you hanging out. You want to do one more, Kim? Is that what you said?
One more. Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. 417.
Did you say 417?
Yes, I did. Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you guys?
Good.
I just want to say I love watching you guys, and I think it's great. I'm glad you have Sean on tonight. And I have just been trying to find the 2020. I've been trying to find it all over. I didn't know if it was on ABC or Hulu or whatever.
It's on ABC, babe. Would you need me to send you my email? You can log in.
Yeah, DM us or something. We'll help you find it.
Okay. How do I go ahead and send that to you?
Where are you at? Where'd you find us? On TikTok?
Put it in the chat. Do you have the chat?
No, I'm on YouTube.
Okay, put your name
on
in
YouTube.
Put your name in the chat. We'll help you find it.
Okay.
All right.
Let me get in there really quick.
All right, you do that, and we're gonna take one last phone call because that's not fair. You can't end on that. You can't end on a technical issue. All right, hold on. 917. It's the way 917. You got us?
All right, hold on. 917. It's the way.
Hello?
Hello. I think you got to turn.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got to turn whatever device you're listening. Just use the phone.
Oh, it is not me. Yes, it is. Okay, so I got to turn it off or I have to mute it?
Yeah, mute it.
Turn whatever device you're listening.
Okay, so I have to mute it. There's a huge delay. Oh my God, guys, I love you so much. It's Irish Pixie. I'm your biggest fans. Oh my God, Kim, stand by your man. And Dave, please, like your mushroom coffee. Obsessed.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
I'm in peak performance zone, and thank you for noticing it.
10 I would say 10 out of 10. Shut your mouth with that 9.5.
It's 9.7. It was 9.5 a year
Dave.
ago. Now it's a 9.7. Thank
You're
you.
a 10, Colin. You're a 10.
Thank you.
And Sean, I'm not a big YouTuber, but you're Irish and I love you. So there we go. I'm going to have to come to the YouTube side now.
Yep.
Yes.
Because it seems to be where it's at. But I'm always going to be a TikToker. Anyhow, let's get to it. So
I am very disappointed with how that interview went. Right there, you can say, you know, it kind of went well for Karen, and yeah, it gets her the followers and gets her the money and all of that. Correct, fair, but they were not fair with her at all. Not one iota of fair, because they've been following her right through until the blue suit. So that means they've been following her through until the very end. And we didn't get into the nitty gritty of any of it. Like, we didn't get into the Colin McAlberts of it all,
Nope.
the Knuckles of it all, the Chloe of it all, the basement of it all. Like, we didn't get down and dirty where the dirt is. Like, this is where our stance is. Like, we know the corruption that is going on here, and we didn't get to speak tonight. Like, our voice was not heard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
the free
Yes, Irish Pixie.
readers were not heard tonight.
Yeah,
Right?
here's
Let's go, Kim.
but here's what it accomplished, right? When you and like you said, I don't know if you're a Twitter user, right? If you open up
Dave, can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
One more thing.
Yes.
Dave, I joined when you were like Switzerland. You were like on the fence.
Right. I think I was
You were like,
I was an example of somebody who watched it, monitored it very closely,
yes.
and would constantly say,
Yes.
like, you know, what I said this to Kim. Kim and I had this
love that.
Kim and I had this conversation in the car when I first heard about the case. What's more likely, a cover up with all this craziness and this amount of people, or a hit and run drunk driving accident? And I think the majority of people, that's how people I talk to in this area in Norfolk County, that's what that's how they
so
talk.
Your duo,
Right.
so your guys' dynamic was like so perfect for this case. And when everyone, like, this is how you have so many followers. Like, you guys are dynamic together. Was like, you know, Dave was one side, Kim was like absolutely hardcore the other, and it was beautiful because you've seen the case for what it was, Dave, and you know you've seen it come into fruition.
But in
before
fairness,
your very eyes, you were skeptical.
In fairness, I wouldn't say I was the opposite side of Kim. I would say I understood
skeptical.
I was skeptical, and I understood. You know, I just felt like it was unlikely there was this big cover up. However, I never thought she would ever be found guilty on any of the charges, no matter what, because there was so much reasonable doubt. And as you watched, I waited for the trial, and as you watched witness
and
one.
On that point, why was it not brought up about Karen's case? About the new case that was like, what are you doing, Dave? Why was it not brought up about the Karen's new case about the 2 counts, the jurors? Why is none of that brought
That's
up?
a great point.
Do they want to?
That's a great point.
Yes.
Do they want? Dave is like, I think it's delayed, Dave. But no, definitely. I think it was very one-sided tonight, and I'm very disappointed with it. But love talking to you guys.
No, and Irish Pixie, we love you. Do we follow? Are you on? You need to come on to YouTube with us, Lovey, because we'd love to have you here. And also, I know where TikTok is till the end of time, but the thing, you're so smart and pretty though. Think about Weinberg. There was nothing about that 5 jurors, juror A, B, C, give me the D, and E, came forward and said that we found Karen Read not guilty of charges 1 and 3. Shame on you, 2020.
Exactly.
Shitties.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That would have did so much to like the viewers. It would have like piqued an interest, piqued their ears up a little bit. Exactly, Kim. F you. You know what I'm saying? Like ABC 2020. You're not really 2020 in hindsight of it all. You're really one-sided bunch of numbnuts at the end of the day.
Great call. The best part of that is that you think I'm really good looking too, which really made me feel nice to end this program. I will say
that's the Irish.
Yeah, thank you. I will say this, and I was about to say it. When you open up the Twitter app, you get 2 things. You get what's trending for you, and you get what's trending overall and worldwide. And when I open it and I see it for me, Karen Read case is like always number 1 because it's what like the algorithm wants to feed me, right? But in trending worldwide, Karen Read case is nowhere to be found. After 2020 tonight, the Karen Reed
Oh, it's
case
gonna be big doings.
will
Yeah.
be trending for everybody, and it'll be a top Google search. So everybody watching that and having negative connotations associated with it, take a step back for a second. It could never have been a perfect 2 hours, whether you like it or not.
Right.
And the Google search results that are going to come off this, and the more that these individuals are going to learn and buy into the case, and whichever way they want to go with the wind, whatever, but they're going to educate themselves.
It'll be
That was a
like
good thing
David,
regardless.
little fence
Right.
sitters until they finally find their way to the finish line. And all we are is here to guide them, right? And
Right.
that is
There you
it.
go.
Okay. We love
There
you. Have an amazing night. Thank you for joining us. Our guest, the incredible, the incomparable El Jefe, Mr. Sean McDonough. We love you. And, you know, you take your handsome bottom to bed.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you, Sean.
Long
All
day.
right, Kim. We'll talk to
Ciao,
you.
ciao.